counselors will help you choose the right product. And unlike stores, we're always in stock. You'll get what you need. Satisfaction guaranteed. HDIS, the better way.
For your free sample pack with your free catalog, $45 in money-saving coupons, and free product samples, call 1-800-809-6975. That's 1-800-809-6975.
If you're paying high interest rates on your credit cards, you're burning money. Consolidated Credit can work with your creditors to reduce your total payments by up to 50% and lower your high interest rates so you can stop juggling multiple payments. Save thousands in interest charges and pay off your credit card debt fast. You don't have to be good with money because we are. Call 800-596-5094 for free.
Well, hello and welcome our TV audience and our audience here in attendance at the Rail Yard right here in front of Pinnacle Bank Arena, live for the Cornhusker State Games opening night show. We are so glad you're with us. Let's have a round of applause as we are excited to get the Cornhusker State Games kicked off for the state of Nebraska. I am Brandon Axman with News Channel Nebraska. I'll be your host for the evening's festivities, and we are going to talk to a lot of important people, influential people, and most importantly, though, we are celebrating the start of the 42nd Cornhusker State Games. So, to start things off, Dave Minerick, representing everybody here, all of the volunteers, tournament directors, sports directors, you name it. He's the guy who gets it started, but he would admit first off that he can't do it himself. So, Dave, let's talk about the Cornhusker State Games this year. What can fans, participants, and spectators expect from the games?
It's 70-plus sports over most of the next 2 weekends. Competitions are taking place in over 55 venues in Nebraska, locations in Lincoln, Omaha, Fremont, Columbus, Grand Island, and North Platte. It's spread across the state these days, and it's all ages, all abilities, and it's an event that truly is for everyone, and it has a spirit of friendly competition and sportsmanship, unlike any other event that you could attend in Nebraska. So it's something that's a tribute to the volunteer spirit and the sponsors who work really hard to put this on in a way that it's more popular every year.
It's been running 42 years strong. This is our 4th year here at Pinnacle Bank Arena for the opening night show. What can our viewers and those in attendance expect from tonight specifically? What will we be doing?
Well, as I said, this part of it is what puts the spirit in the games, and there's no better way to represent spirit than fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to some nice people. We're going to have some patriotism with the singing of our national anthem by Jimmy Weber, and you're going to meet some great folks, and then we're going to all cheer when Terrence Smith lights the cauldron to signify that the games have officially begun.
This may have already been in the answer for this next question, but you've been doing this a long time. What are you specifically most excited about for this year's games?
Well, I think the formula is the same, and what comes out every year in the state games are the stories. You've got your Kevin Heffleys and your Emmett Hassenstaubs, and these are people, if you look on our website, check out Athletes of the Year and just read about the different things they've done. Sometimes it's just a family that gets together here every year, and we have many of those from across the state. So the stories, I think, is what I love the most.
Round of applause for Dave Minerick, president with the Cornhusker State Games. As we move down here, a familiar face, Governor Jim Pillen, joining us for not the first time for the opening ceremonies. Governor, how are you doing tonight?
We're doing fantastic, and I think it's really important to give a big shout out. Events, things like this don't happen without all the volunteers making it happen. So I think everybody needs to give themselves a shout out because it's a big deal with all their work.
Well, an event like this, it's special. How does it specifically reflect Nebraska's sports culture and community pride?
Yeah, You know, I say it all the time everywhere I go, and I call it the gift of appreciation. Us Nebraskans are incredible people. We're humble, hardworking. We go win national championships and don't think anything about it. I've got one to my left that's living proof of it. But I think what's so awesome is just the epitome everywhere I go. Nebraska, what's so special? It's the people. And so the competition and bringing people together of all ages, it's Nebraska. It's Nebraska, and we go compete. We treat each other with respect, and we do like we do in Memorial Stadium. We cheer no matter if we win or lose, and we thank the opponent. It's Nebraska through and through. It makes your heart pump.
Thousands of athletes about to take part in the Cornhusker State Games over the coming weeks. If you could give them a specific message of encouragement, what would that be?
Yeah, really, really simple. I think what's so awesome about athletics and sports is, number one, it brings us together. No matter what, it brings us together. And then number two, it's a great thing to get rewarded for really doing your best. It's tangible, great way, whether it's training and getting ready for the competition or friendly competition, that you do your best. And if we can carry that into our everyday life, being better neighbors, being better grandpas and grandmas, whatever the name is, and that's just a great reminder of what sports does for us.
Governor, thank you for the time and for those kind words. I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
And now here's the real governor.
I think it's fair to say volleyball legend next to me, Jordan Larson. Round of applause for Jordan Larson here today at the Cornhusker State Games opening night ceremony. So Jordan, you've represented Nebraska on the world's biggest stage. What does it mean throughout your career to have been such an inspiration for females, for women, young and old, in what you've done on the court?
Oh, man. Well, it all started here, honestly. I was a participant at one point in my life, and to just, I think, like Governor Pillen talked about and Dave as well, it's so cool to see people coming together and competing and having the chance to compete, right? Giving them a space to express themselves in a different way. It really just shows true sportsmanship and the honor of the sport that they're participating in. And so for me, it's just always, I'm so proud to be from here and to have learned such great principles that have carried me throughout the world.
And based on what you learned throughout competing throughout your career, why is it important for there to be a setting like this to allow all ages and shapes and sizes and abilities to have this space to compete?
Because you never know when there's a diamond in the rough. You never know if they're going to come out. You know, I was a small town girl from, you know, I mean, I'm close to the metro areas, but, you know, I think giving them a chance to come from all over the state and to really show what they have, and to, you never know what their dreams could be living, you know, having this platform to be able to perform. So I think it's really cool to be able to create that space for them and have an opportunity for them to show what they have.
Round of applause for Jordan Larson. An inspiration to so many, and here tonight at the Cornhusker State Games opening night show, we have just kicked things off. Stay with us. First commercial break, more show, more interviews, and the torch lighting is just around the corner. Live from Lincoln and the Rail Yard here on News Channel Nebraska. We'll be back.
First, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
It's the thrill, the hope, the long shots, and the turnovers. The big hits, the kills, the dunks, the strikes, the surprises, the joy, and the heartbreak. And that's why NCN Sports bring you more than 200 live games every year. News Channel Nebraska. This is home.
I spend with purpose because I bank with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. With my Liberty Plus checking account, I can earn extra cash just for spending on everyday things, like groceries, online or in-store purchases, and lunch. At Liberty First, anyone can join, so start earning money to spend on the things you love. Start banking with purpose. Start banking with Liberty First Credit Union.
And welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska, and the rail yard for the Cornhusker State Games opening night show. Brandon Axelman now joined by Audrey Eckert. Last year, she was Miss Nebraska USA at this time. She has since become Miss USA, officially the second ever person from Nebraska to hold that honor. Yes, a round of applause for Audrey. Now, let's jump right into it. You being the second person from the state of Nebraska to achieve this landmark title, what does it mean to you to represent the state on the national stage in this way?
First of all, it's an incredible honor to represent our state not only nationally but also internationally. 4 days after winning, I went to Thailand for 3 weeks and competed at Miss Universe. And so getting to wear Nebraska in my heart, but then USA across my chest was just so special. And this year will actually be the 75th anniversary of Miss USA. So being the second woman to win this title from Nebraska and then getting to come home and do events like this is always something I'll hold close to my heart.
You mentioned you went right to Thailand, but can you give a little bit more insight into what has this year looked like and what is your role as this title holds for the year?
Absolutely. So after Thailand, I came back and I hit the ground running. I travel across the entire nation, getting to meet the best people that constantly remind me of why our country is so great. It's because of the people. So getting to connect with them every single day. And then I also get to share my message in my platform, which is digital safety, where I do anything I can to educate the next generation how to stay safe online and navigate social media.
Well, lastly, what values do you think events like the Cornhusker State Games do to help promote positive influence in these communities and for those participating?
Like everyone has mentioned before me tonight, the Cornhusker State Games is so special to Nebraska. You can't find this everywhere. And so getting people to come to Lincoln to compete and just support, you know, being a Nebraskan. We're here for one another, win or lose, and I think that's unique and special in itself.
Thank you so much, Audrey Eckert. Another round of applause for Miss USA representing the state of Nebraska. Without further ado, it's time for our national anthem. So, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and face the flag for tonight's national anthem performed by country music recording artist and U.S. Air Force veteran Jimmy Weber.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Hey, it's me, one of those students on the waiting list for a teammate's mentor. I've heard teammates is so fun and awesome. You talk, laugh, play games, and hang out with a positive, caring adult once a week at school. Teammates help students believe in themselves, and 97% of mentees are proud to be a part of it. I love to be one of those mentees, but we need more mentors. So if you got an hour a week to be someone a student like me can count on, go to teammates.org today. Join the team. Be a mentor.
From the heart of Nebraska to across the state, RMV Construction is building more than just structures. We're building trust. RMV Construction has grown from humble beginnings to become a trusted name across central Nebraska and beyond. With unmatched craftsmanship, cutting-edge innovation, and an unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction, we deliver projects on time, on budget, and above expectations. Trusted, local, proven. RMV Construction in Kearney and Lincoln. Let's build your vision together. This is Nebraska. Nebraska is beautiful. Nebraska is home. It's home for you and us. News Channel Nebraska, the only news network owned and operated by Nebraskans for Nebraskans. With bureaus spanning the entire state, we can tell the story of Nebraska better than anyone else. This is Nebraska, and Nebraska is home.
And welcome back to the Cornhusker State Games opening night show here in Lincoln, Nebraska, being televised across the state and worldwide on News Channel Nebraska and newschannelnebraska.com. Behind me, we have several accomplished athletes, public servicemen and women, and they're officially called special guests and supporters of the Cornhusker State Games. So I am going to go down the line, introduce each and every one of them, and you can just applaud the whole time as we rattle off these names of dignified guests. So we will start things off. Major General Craig Strong, Adjunct General with the Nebraska National Guard. Sandra Washington, Lincoln City Council. Jane Raybold, a Nebraska State Senator. Yeah, step forward if you would as well. Allison Widener representing the Husker women's basketball team. Rhea Coe, women's tennis for the Huskers. Kevin Heftley, U.S. Paralympian and 2020 Cornhusker State Games and National Athlete of the Year. Angie Henry, former Husker track athlete and 1996 Cornhusker State Games torchlighter. Continuing down, Curtis Thomas Sevich, Olympic gold medalist and 2006 Cornhusker State Games torchlighter. And last but not least, we have Jed Ortmeyer, former NHL player and 2013 Cornhusker State Games torchlighter. One more round of applause for our special guest here at the Cornhusker State Games opening night show. As we continue, earlier this summer, the Nebraska Sports Council continued the Cornhusker State Games Torch Tour for the second year, symbolically uniting our state in celebration of sport, community, and the upcoming games. The tour began in North Platte with stops in several host cities across Nebraska, and it concludes here tonight with the official lighting of the cauldron, signaling the start of the 2026 Cornhusker State Games. So here is a look back on the torch's journey across the state that brought it here tonight.
on, Nebraska.
Game on, Nebraska.
Game on, Nebraska.
Game on, Nebraska.
Okay. The torch. About to light this cauldron. We are to that moment nearly. Dave is back on stage with me where you will soon see who the torch lighter is. It is being carried now, Dave, by who, and what is the process to now bring it here to the rail yard right here in front of Pinnacle Bank Arena?
Taryn Smith is starting with the lit torch just on the other side of the pedestrian bridge over here. So that's what you'll be watching from the drone. Taryn grew up in Omaha, and she participated in the Cornhusker State Games. And I think 2013 was the year she remembers. And she ran the 400, so she definitely has some endurance. Not too long ago, she came across an article about a person who rowed across the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and it was part of an event that up to that point only men had done it. And so this girl from Nebraska, who is a tremendous athlete, decided she was going to train, and a couple years later she completed the row across the Atlantic in this event and was the first person to do it. She recorded, and I invite you to Google her, check out all of her videos because it's pretty impressive. And last but not least, she said she would do it again.
Just to make sure everyone understands what you just said, woman from Nebraska, first ever to row solo across the Atlantic. That's what you said? And she's here about to light the torch. 46 days, endured storms, choppy weather. She was rowing for roughly 12 hours a day for 46 days. And I checked out her Instagram as well that has like 300+ thousand followers. She documented her journey. Absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't imagine even thinking about trying to accomplish a feat like that.
It was very impressive. And to have her touch off the cauldron, I think is one of the most fitting torch lighters we've ever had. This is the representative of the athletic spirit of Nebraskans and people who build a story here in the Cornhusker State Games.
And not only did she set history by being the first woman to ever solo row across the Atlantic, but she did it for a good cause. Raised thousands of dollars for the nonprofit Girls on the Run Nebraska. Well worth a round of applause as she is rounding the corner here and about to light the cauldron.
Hey, I want to remind everybody you can still get in the Cornhusker State Games. Go to cornhuskerstategames.com and check out the events that are still open for registration while Taryn is finishing up this little jog.
All right, the music started. Let's really get going with the applause for Taryn Smith as she is walking now in front of Pinnacle Bank Arena. Our 2026 Cornhusker State Games torch lighter, again, the first woman ever to solo row across the Atlantic. She is here to get the games started, the 42nd Cornhusker State Games. Accompanied by National Guard men and women, it's time to light the cauldron here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Taryn, let's see it. Let the games begin. The 42nd Cornhusker State Games have officially begun with the cauldron lighting here in Lincoln. We have horns being honked at the rail yard. Round of applause all around. Don't go anywhere. We will be back here on News Channel Nebraska to wrap things up here on the Cornhusker State Games opening night show.
Summer is the peak season for outdoor construction, landscaping, home improvement projects, and accidental contact with overhead power lines. NPPD and your local public power utility remind you, before you extend that ladder or raise that boom, look up and look out for overhead power lines. Staying aware could save your life. Powering the state. Empowering your safety. Nebraska Public Power District.
This is Nebraska, and so is this. News Channel Nebraska's mission is to connect everyone in Nebraska, urban and rural. Because when people in Palisade understand what happens in Grand Island, and when people in Scotts Bluff get to share their story with the people of Niobrara, we become one Nebraska. This is Nebraska, and this is home.
And welcome back one more time here to Lincoln, Nebraska. Cornhusker State Games opening night show. The cauldron has been lit. It's getting a little bit hotter up here on stage, but that's okay because the competition is about to ramp up across the entire state. With us now, Taryn Smith, our Cornhusker State Games torch lighter. So, before we talk about the state games, Taryn, let's just, I asked you in between commercial breaks, what was the single most important thing you learned from your experience being the first woman ever representing Nebraska, but the first woman ever to solo row across the Atlantic? What was that one thing you learned?
Throughout my crossing, I learned that all weather passes. No matter how big the storm is, eventually it ends.
Short, simple, and sweet, but I will take your word for it, and I will use that moving forward. So now, focusing specifically on the state games. You once competed in the Cornhusker State Games yourself. What does it mean to you to now be back here and join elite company being chosen as a torchlighter?
It is such an honor to be here at the state games. I competed as a track athlete back in middle school, and I had no idea that that would bring me to a solo row across the Atlantic Ocean. But what I learned when I prepared for that event was that I really love endurance sports. So I think that's where my Atlantic row truly began, was at the Cornhusker State Games.
Now, this may coincide with the question I asked you earlier, but what's one lesson from your experience that you'd like to share with athletes competing and how it may help them specifically with the sport they're taking place in the Cornhusker State Games?
A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. We are meant to go out in the world and do amazing, great things. We're meant to challenge ourselves and step outside of our comfort zone and push boundaries. And so as you compete in the state games, I encourage you to embrace that mindset and remember that we can do anything we want in this world, but we can't do it alone. So really embrace the community that's going to help you along the way.
Taryn, lastly, and well worth a round of applause, what's next for you?
Right now, I'm taking things a little bit slower than ocean rowing. It was a pretty intense experience, so I'm starting to speak about the event, and I'm writing a book about it, so stay tuned.
Round of applause for our torchlighter, Taryn Smith. Thank you so much for being here, starting the games, and again, wonderful wisdom to share. Dave is back, and we are officially about to wrap up the show. That's sad, but also happy. So Dave, any closing remarks as we prepare for the state games to now take place across all of Nebraska?
One more round of applause for Taryn. Those were amazing words, and it was an amazing feat. Thank you for joining us tonight. I would just say, maybe you're not ready to sign up for the Cornhusker State Games and compete. I mean, you can still do that, but if you're not quite ready to sign up and compete this year, I would advise everyone across the state to go and watch the games. I mean, if you're in central Nebraska, go check out some of the shooting there at the Heartland Shooting Park in Grand Island. You know, if you're in Fremont, go check out our swimming event. You know, we have events in Columbus, North Platte, here in Lincoln, and in Omaha. Go to cornhuskerstategames.com, click on the sport or the event info tab, and find our composite schedule. It's chronological, easy to follow. You can see all the things that are going on Saturday, Sunday, and then next weekend. And I would just say, just go watch it. Check it out. I think what you're going to see is something that's easy entry. It's a lot of fun, and everyone there is so nice and sportsmanlike, yet they compete hard. That's what we want, right? So anyway, you get the whole gist of the Cornhusker State Games. If you'll go out and watch it, still sign up at cornhuskerstategames.com.
That everything? We good?
One more thank you to the volunteers and the sponsors who make this event possible. We couldn't do it without that spirit of community represented by so many people that are here with us tonight.
Round of applause one more time. Special thanks to Dave, everyone with the Nebraska Sports Council, all of the volunteers, all of the special guests here today, those who were interviewed, Governor Pillen, everyone who came out to support a statewide effort that celebrates competition and athletics here in Nebraska. That's going to do it for our Cornhusker State Games opening night show live from Lincoln. The 42nd Cornhusker State Games have officially begun. Thank you for being here, and thank you for tuning in on News Channel Nebraska.
The Bassett Arts Council is supported by the Nebraska Arts Council, Nebraska Humanities, Nebraska Cultural Endowment,